morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Luann, and welcome to Blackberryrock Homestead, and welcome to my jungle that I call my garden. So let me turn the camera out and let me show you. And I'm going to be with the garden tour. I'm going to be showing you how I plant tomatoes. Is it the right way? No, there's several different ways to plant tomatoes, just a FYI. So, which I'm going to try to include that in this video if I can. So, if not, I'll just make a different video. It's alright. So let me turn the camera around and let me show you what is going on in the jungle, aka my garden. So I can't see, the sun's in my eyes right now, so but hey, that's okay. So this is a yellow pear, and I do have a cannon planted on the other side. There are some onion sets in there, and again a yellow pear. All these are pretty much, I think this is Bliss. Yeah, this is a Bliss hybrid yellow, so we'll see how that is. I do have elephant ears planted in this pot. May throw a tomato in there as well. I'm not 100%. I do have a yellow squash planted here that is not up yet. This I do believe is the red pear tomato plant that I started, and I do have irises over there in here, and I did plant some basil and a couple other things that aren't up yet. Again, red pear, and I did plant some cannons in each one of these pots. And of course some onions. I don't see this cannon coming up, but it's alright. So I do have another red pear planted here, and some purple red robin basil. There is a callop dahlia coming up in this pot. I do have my zucchini planted. Yay! And I'm hoping it'll fill up this pot, and I could just move those two things. Some zinnias planted in both there, and of course this will be there will be tomatoes everywhere in my garden. This is my onion bed, which I do need to weed, and I'm going to dig out that surprise lily. I don't want surprise lilies in this area of the garden, and of course that's a weedy mess. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So I did get rid of the mint. Mainly there's a couple of spots I am going to be focusing on getting the mint out of my garden this year. And here is a volunteer tomato. I did not plant that, so we're going to leave that there. My garlic bed, which I'm planning on, again, more tomatoes. The cabbages aren't doing that great because rabbits keep coming in here. So, and of course, the asparagus bed that needs to be weeded. My lemon balm, and there is some elderberry planted over there, a lilac, and of course a tree that's coming up that shouldn't be there. So anyway, so this is the first of the tomato bed, and why I've already weeded on this side of the first tomato bed. And I think this is chamomile. I'm not 100% sure. At least that is what I started from seed. So we'll see. And I do have onions, and I think that's bee balm. I think that's what I planted there. So we're going to start the tomatoes, because there's really nothing else to see over there. I mean, not really, other than the potato that is right there, and the potatoes there, and of course that iris. So, like I said, there's nothing to see. So really, not really, it's a weedy mess, which I'm working on today. That is my goal this week, is to plant all 3 of these beds with tomatoes. And of course, I'm going to label which tomato is tomato, and along with some basil. I may have to throw some basil seeds in as well, because I want a lot of basil, all different kinds of basil. Because, ooh, there's the African violet. African marigold. So let's get to planting. So this is how I'm going to plant. I got my hole dug, and we're going to plant the first one, mortgage lifter. So there will be 2 in this bed. So that's about deep enough that I want. So good thing I come, because good thing we're planting today, started planting our tomatoes. This is a little root bound. When you have that, oh, sorry about that. When you have that, you just gotta flick it like that. And then we're gonna put our tomato in there. And I am planting these about 1.5 feet apart. But you do you. I am going to try to heavy prune these as well. So I'm hoping you can see that. So that is the first tomato plant of, I do believe there is 12 or 16. Because this is my first 16-foot bed that we're planting. And I'm going to lead as I go on this side. So if this tomato plant, this is the second one, if it was more root bound, I would break it apart and I would lay it on its side and move that like that, which I may do that one. So you see 2 different ways you can plant tomato plants. No, we're going to leave it like that. So, like I said, if it was more root bound, I would do that. I'm going to try to move it, because we're going to tie it up. So it's every other one of these deals on this panel. So one tomato bed done. Weeded on that side. On this side, there are onions, radishes, carrots, and then more onions down there. And I think that is bee balm. I'm not 100%. On this side, we got mortgage lifter, sweet basil, anise noir, and we got, what was that basil that I planted? Lime basil. Then we got one Abe Lincoln tomato on here. We got cinnamon basil, and we do got celebrity and Rutgers tomato. So now we just got to get the rest of the tomato beds done. But one tomato bed is done. Yay! So it begins the planting of tomatoes. So the second bed of tomatoes is planted, other than on the other side, which I do have a plan. I'm going to go get something and plant over there. I got mainly Brandywine. There are some Missouri pink apple planted in here, some German pink, and one giant Belgium and a Jubilee tomato. So, and of course my lime basil, and I do have a purple basil that is all, well, dark basil that is planted on there. The chamomile that I potted, it will be planted on the other side, along with some beans, some bush beans. That is the plan for this bed. So we'll see what we're. So that's the second bed of tomatoes planted of the 4x16 beds.